Are the Maple Leafs starting to feel the heat heading into Game 6 against the Senators? Hey everyone, welcome into Off the Post. Rob Wong joined alongside by Steve Simmons and Bruce Garrioch. And Bruce, the Senators planted the seed of doubt after their Game 4 win, and right now it might be a seedling. I'm not willing to go as far to say it's a full-grown plant just yet, but the Game 5 victory over Toronto definitely did not help things from the Maple Leafs side of things. How do you feel the Senators should be thinking this morning as far as confidence goes that they could actually pull this off?
Oh, I think it's a full-blown tree. I mean, I listened to Toronto radio this morning, and they were not doing well on the Wake Up in Woodbridge segment. I look at it, guys, and the Senators knew from the outset that what they were trying to do has only been done 4 times in National Hockey League history for a reason, and the task was far too daunting. But I do think what they've done in this series, Steve, they've shown more composure in the last 2 games, and I do believe that they have landed in the Leafs' kitchen. I think when Austin Matthews opens his door, he's got Brady Tkachuk staring him in the face. I think when John Tavares wakes up in his Leaf jammies, he wakes up to nightmares of them shaking hands with the Senators after a Game 7 loss. There's too much history there, Steve, and the Senators have no expectations. I think when this series started, it would have been a little much if they'd gone down in 4. We would have said, well, geez, okay, you make the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, and you lose in 4. I guess 3 overtime losses would have been gutsy. But now at least they've been gutsy, Steve.
So let's go back to the beginning. When the Senators looked like they weren't much of a playoff team, particularly in Game 1, it was composure and poor goaltending. So you fast forward now to Game 5 last night. They had no composure troubles. They had excellent goaltending. And so all of the things that were wrong early on, the Leafs scored 5 power play goals in the first 3 games. They have none since. Not only do they have none since, they've been scored on twice shorthanded. So they're -2 with their vaunted superstars on the power play, all 5 of them forwards. And so right now, all of the reasons that you thought you could take advantage of the Ottawa Senators, the Senators have kind of made them disappear. And so while this Leaf team is new, with a new coach and a lot of new players, and they haven't lived through all of these failures, the 4 guys at the top, and I'm going to remove Tavares because he's only been here for 7 of the 9 years. The other guys have been here for 9 of them. They're 1-13, Bruce, in games to clinch a playoff series. 1-13. That's impossible to do. You couldn't try and do that and execute it. And what's happened in so many of the games, and last night was another example in Game 5, they don't generate offense. They don't generate enough offense to make a difference. They couldn't score last night. And I can't think of, honestly, Allmark played well, but I can't think of any signature saves that he made that you said, oh, boy, that's a game changer. He'd make one of those kick save and a beauties that you used to see or will see from playoff goaltenders. He was good, but the Leafs weren't. And what they were lacking was circumstantial desperation. You watched the Edmonton Oilers when they were down to LA, how desperate they were to be the better team. You watched Montreal against Washington and how desperately they're playing to hang in that series. I don't see that same emotion. I don't see that same desperation. I don't see any of those playoff characteristics that make this team, other than the fact they've been really sound defensively all through the series the Leafs have been. But where is their heart in all of this?
Well, and I got a text from a former NHL player last night. I was texting with during the game, and that's exactly what he wrote me. He said, I'm not sure you'll ever win with Austin Matthews and Nylander because they don't play with any emotion. And the playoffs are emotion, and about that's what carries you. And we haven't seen enough emotion from them. And you know what? Maybe they do pick it up emotionally in Game 6. I'm not saying they don't have it because I think they do have it, but you need to see it.
If you had a real owner, and the Leafs have always been sort of corporately owned or owned by the conglomerate, he would be looking at this payroll right now and saying, we are paying 4 players amongst the top 15 in the NHL. So their salaries, we're paying. So that's 4 guys that make more than any player on the Senators. How is it that, and they're all offensive players, how is it that group, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, cannot generate enough offense to score a goal at home? They needed one, Bruce, to make it a 1-all tie, and then the series is a coin flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all the talk about business when it comes to MLSE, they are definitely not getting an ROI that is very suitable at this point from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lastly, Steve, we saw that Craig Berube made the change in game number 3 to go to Max Pacioretty. Heading into game number 6, could we see some lineup changes or even just line changes to try to mix things up?
I could see a couple of things happening, although, I'm saying this, if I was the coach, these are things that I would consider. One, go back to Nick Robertson for Pacioretty looks slow to me. I mean, when he gets the puck, which isn't often, he seems to do smart things with it, but he's slow. And so to me, this is a faster series. You need speed, and you need to find maybe a goal from someplace you're not expecting one, which Nick Robertson can do for you on occasion. The other thing I might consider is bringing David Kampf back if David Kampf is healthy, because special teams now have become such an enormous factor in this and every series. And David Kampf is a very good penalty killer, and so you take out a Yarncroc or a Holmberg, or I'm going to leave Holmberg in because I like the way he's playing actually. Take out a Yarncroc or someone like that and slide David Kampf back in. Then you have another penalty killer, and I think those aren't like really important changes. And you're not going to see like Marner going to play with Tavares or Nylander going to play with Matthews. You won't see that. That doesn't make any sense at all at this point in time.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's the case. And I guess, Bruce, on the Sens side of things, we're not expecting many changes here, if at all, after this 2-game win streak.
No, but I do think the one change we have seen is that while he wasn't forced to make any massive stops, I think that he did stop a breakaway. I think that Allmark has gotten better as this series has gone on, and his save percentage has gotten better, and he's gone from being the 12th ranked or the 14th ranked goalie in the playoffs to the 12th this morning. A small step in the right direction. And the other thing is, I think the way the Senators are trying to play physically are playing physically is starting to take a toll on the Leafs. But I am not predicting victory by any stretch of the imagination yet.
I covered that series where Philadelphia came back and beat the Bruins in 7.
Yeah.
And what people forget, they're down 3 games. They come back and tie it 3-all. Do you know what happened in Game 7? They're down 3-0 in Game 7. Yeah. They're behind 3-0 in Game 7 and come back and win the series with an incredible. It was one of the great stories you're ever going to be able to write. I mean,
it's funny you say that because I talked to Peter Chiarelli about it the other day. He's a good friend of mine, and I had breakfast with him yesterday. I said, "What happened in that series?" He says, "Number one, Krejci got hurt in Game 3. And it was a dirty hit for Mike Richards, and I thought he should have been suspended. Nothing happened." He said, "But that's where it started to unravel on us."
Yeah.
And he said, "Thanks for reminding me." But I just want to know, right? Like,
no. But that night was incredible because at 3-0, we're writing about 3-0 in the score of Game 7. We're writing, Bruins have come back and they're going to win this thing, and they couldn't hold on.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. Game 7 is set for Saturday, but still one more to go here on Thursday. But things have gotten very interesting, to say the least, in the Battle of Ontario. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. For Bruce Garrioch, Steve Simmons, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you after game number 6.